It is my favorite month of the year. I love October. I'm so glad we live in a world where there are Octobers, and I'm here today to share the very large pile of books that I'm considering reading for October. Hello book friends, I'm Jen and welcome to my reading life and welcome to my October pile of possibilities. And it is a very large pile this month. I'm gonna need you guys to help me with this. So I love October. It is my birthday month. It is the month of my wedding anniversary. It is the month of my parents' wedding anniversary. It is the month my son was born. There's just a lot of good stuff in October, and I have just always loved this month. It really feels like the beginning of autumn to me, and I just have all the cozy feels about October. So excited it is coming around yet again, and I've got my fall mug all ready to go. I've got my autumnal top on today, and I better not dilly-dally here too much. One, because I'm about to spill my tea, and two, because we have a lot of books to get through. But like I said, so October, not only is it a month where I love to do seasonal reading, it is also the month of Victober, which is the Victorian read-along hosted by Katie from Books and Things, Kate Howe, among many others. They have compiled 10 hosts for this year. I'm gonna spill this, you guys. I'm not kidding. I'm gonna take a sip and then put it down. Hang on. Okay, let's go on. So they have compiled 10 hosts for the 10th anniversary of Victober. This is only maybe my third or fourth year participating in Victober. I am still kind of getting my feet wet in Victorian literature. I am by no means an expert, but I have a too large pile of Victorian novels here. So I'm actually going to ask you guys to vote on 3 novels that I'm considering reading. And I'm only planning to read one of them because I have so many other books I also want to read outside of Victober. And I want to make sure that I have time to get to at least some of them. Plus I have some other read-alongs, group reads, things like that, buddy reads that I'm doing. And of course I need to allow time for those as well. Plus just my own mood and seasonal reading that I'd like to get to. I think I will save the Victober books for the end of the video, and we will start off, as I usually do, with the books that I'm reading for group reads, buddy reads, book clubs, etc. And this month I have 4 books that I will for sure be reading in October. And the first is, of course, our pick for the Cozy Reader Book Club for October, and we are reading The Semi-Attached Couple by Emily Eden. And this actually qualifies as a Victorian novel, so you could read this along with us for Victober. We picked it for that reason. My book, and I think most editions of this book, are a bind up of 2 Emily Eden novels, The Semi-Attached Couple and The Semi-Detached House. Now, if all goes to plan, I would love to actually just read both of these books in October. We'll see if I get through them all. I will, of course, for sure be reading The Semi-Attached Couple, but if I have time, I'm still, I think, just going to continue on with The Semi-Detached House. Whether I finish it in October or carry it over into November, that remains to be seen, but very much looking forward to these, and would love to have you join us. If you are interested in reading The Semi-Attached Couple, there is still time to join the Cozy Reader Book Club. You can find the information for joining down in the description box below, and we would love to have you. Next is the book that I'm reading with my Gilded Age buddy read group. This is not a Gilded Age novel. We picked a very atmospheric read that all of us wanted to enjoy, and October seems like the perfect month for this book, and that is The Ghost and Mrs. Muir by Josephine Leslie. Yes, Josephine Leslie, got that right. I love this vintage paperback that I found at this lovely secondhand bookstore in my town, and I am very much looking forward to this. It says, Lucy Muir didn't mind that they told her that Gull Cottage was haunted. It was just what she and her 2 children wanted, so they moved right in. She wore her widowhood lightly, savoring each moment of her new independent life, and no ghost was going to change that. But what can a well-bred lady do with the ghost of a handsome, salty sea captain given to indelicate language, wide open windows in winter, and occupying the same bedroom as the mistress of the house? It says this is a uniquely amusing, touching ghost story. I'm here for this. This sounds just fantastic. It is a slim little book, and I cannot wait to read this. Next up is a book I am buddy reading with my lovely friend Elizabeth, and we are reading this for the 1925 Club. And this read along, it's a very short read along. It only lasts, I think it's about a week. Maybe it's 2 weeks. I can't remember now. It's very short and it's done periodically. I'm not sure what the schedule is exactly, but it is run by Simon from the Tea or Books podcast that you all know I love. But he has a blog called Stuck in a Book, and you should absolutely check it out. I will link it in the description box below. It is fantastic. He also has an Instagram account. I will link that as well. And he co-hosts it. I'm forgetting his co-host. Apologies. I will again put her information down below as well. But they do these read-alongs where they pick a year and then you were supposed to read books that were published in that year. And it's really fun. It's just a fun way to maybe pick out some books from a specific year and read them. I'm just reading one for this 1925 Club, but both Elizabeth and I have wanted to read this Persephone book, and that is Greenery Street by Dennis McHale. And I don't really know much about this. I know that Persephone recommends you read this, and yeah, I'm blanking on what it's about, and they never put any kind of description on the inside of the book. So I'm just going to go into it blind, and I have a feeling I'm going to love it. So yes, going to be reading this in October as well. Very much looking forward to that. And the 1925 Club, it's a very loose read along. I think if you have a blog, you can link your blog if you write a post about what you read or about the club. But other than that, it's just kind of, you know, something fun to participate in, and very low key, no strings attached kind of read along. And then lastly, for the books that I am for sure reading in October, this is the pick for my Book Jenny's Patreon quarterly read-along. We do quarterly read-alongs in the Book Jenny's tier of my Patreon, and so October is the next month that we have a read-along, and I let my patrons choose between 3 books, 4 books, I can't remember now, 3 or 4 books, and this is the one that was the winner. So we are going to be reading Mistress of Melon by Victoria Holt. Now, so many of you have recommended Victoria Holt to me because you know I love Mary Stuart, and everyone says she is very much a read-alike for Mary Stuart. It's a little bit gothic, kind of that romantic suspense, and I am very much looking forward to this. It says on the front, the classic novel of romantic suspense. So, yes, so let's see. We're going to the mysterious moors of Cornwall with a young governess whose life is about to be changed forever. So I'm not really going to read more than that. Again, I think I might just kind of go into this and just enjoy it for what it is and not really read too much about it first. So again, thank you to everyone who recommended Victoria Holt, and I am very much hoping that I love her as much as Mary Stuart. Next up, I have 5 books that I've pulled from my fall book stack that I put together. If you haven't watched that video, I will link it for you here in the cards and in the description box below, so you can go over and check out all the books I'm considering reading in the autumn. And really, any of the books in that video are up for grabs this month. I have them all on a shelf of my book cart, which is right over here, which is why I keep looking this direction. So I could potentially just scrap all of these and grab something else if something, if I suddenly get in the mood for something, but these were the 5 that were calling my name. So the first 2 are off of my 5-star predictions. So if you haven't seen that video, I will also link that here in the cards and in the description box. So be sure to check that out. Let me know what you think, if you think I might think these are 5 stars. But the first one that I pulled is The Half-Crown House by Helen Ashton. I really, really want to read this, and I think it might begin in the autumn. Yes, it says it was the 30th day of October, 1954. well, I feel like I either have to read it in October or I have to start it at the very end of the month and finish it in November. So either way, this is going to be read. I have very high hopes for this, and I really think this one might be 5 stars for me. So there's that. And then the second book I pulled because something about it just feels like an October read, and that is Jennifer, Hecate, Macbeth, William McKinley, and Me, Elizabeth by E.L. Konigsberg. This is a middle grade book by the author of one of my favorite middle grade books, and I am very much looking forward to this. Some of you on my 5-star predictions video said that you read this either as a kid or else recently and really enjoyed it, so that makes me even more excited to get to it. So thank you for those comments. I really appreciate that. And then these last 3 books from this stack that I pulled from my autumn book stack are just, you know, books that I was kind of feeling in the mood for. And I always love to read mysteries in the autumn months. And so I had to pick at least one mystery to put on this pile of possibilities. And the one I chose is the very first Georges Simenon Maigret novel, which is Peter the Latvian. And yes, it even says right on the cover, the first Maigret novel, and I'm very much looking forward to it and discovering Maigret in the novel format. I've read some of Georges Simenon's Maigret Christmas stories. I have a bind-up collection of them, and I've read 4 or 5, which I very much enjoyed, but looking forward to getting to know him from the beginning of his story. And then next up, because of course, October is the month of Halloween, so I thought it would be fun to have some maybe spookier, scarier stories on my TBR. And this one I'm hoping, because it's by a very cozy author, even though these are called Tales from the Darker Side, I think this might be a good pick, and that is L.M. Montgomery's Among the Shadows. And these are 19 newly discovered stories, well, newly discovered when this was published, which was 1990, so it's been a little while, but yes, so, you know, 19 stories that have a little bit of a darker side. It says, drunkards, petty thieves, embezzlers, murderers, and adulterers are her characters, people whose weaknesses she depicts faithfully but compassionately. Here, too, are Montgomery's supernatural stories reflecting one of the obsessions of her times, the belief that the power of love could last beyond death. Well, that definitely sounds darker than Anne of Green Gables, doesn't it? Very much looking forward to this. And I think I might just, I don't know, should I put it on my bedside table? Is it going to be too scary for reading before bed? Well, maybe I'll give it a try and we'll see. Otherwise, maybe I'll just keep it here next to my chaise lounge. I like to have a book or two that I can just pick up if I sit down for just a few moments. So this might be the book I have there for October. And then lastly, from my autumn book stack, I pulled a book by an author I've been wanting to read for so very long. And I think this is going to be a little bit maybe kind of creepy and gothic. And I don't think it's going to be super scary, but I think it's going to be really atmospheric. And that is The Little Stranger by Sarah Waters. Finally gonna read my first Sarah Waters. I really hope I get to this in October. I've heard fantastic things. So many of you love her and have raved about her. And yes, I am very, very much looking forward to finally cracking her open and giving her a read. And I hope I love her as much as all the rest of you seem to. And finally, we have come down to the books I have pulled off of my shelf that I am considering reading for Victober. So I have 4 books that I'm going to share first, and then I have 3 novels that I am going to share with all of you. And then there is also going to be a post on my community tab where you can go and vote for which one of those I absolutely should read this Victober. I really want to read all 3 of them, but I'm going to let you guys choose for me. But before we get into those, I have 4 other books, and I probably won't read all of these, but I'm hoping to get to at least 2 of them. So if I read these 2 plus the novel, plus we're reading the semi-attached couple, that will be a lovely Victober in my book. That will probably be more books than I've read in any prior Victober, I think. Side note before I get into these books, I am not really following along with all of the prompts for Victober. There are some really fantastic prompts. I know some of my books fit into those prompts, but I haven't really gone in and kind of figured out which they would all work with. So if you want to see what the prompts for Victober are, I will link a few of the videos for Victober from the hosts down in the description box. So be sure to go and check those out so you can find out all the parameters of Victober if it's new to you. But first up is a book that I just randomly ordered when I was browsing on thrift books. I saw these little books. They are penguin books from their Great Food collection. And they are really slim little reads. And I actually bought 2 of them, but this one happens to be a Victorian book. And this is The Campaign for Domestic Happiness by Isabella Beeton. And it says, firmly in the belief that a home should be run as an efficient military campaign, Mrs. Beeton, the doyenne of English cookery, offers timeless tips on selecting cuts of meat, throwing a grand party, and hosting a dinner, as well as giving suggestions on staff wages and the cost of each recipe. So this has just kind of food writing, housekeeping tips, recipes. Anyway, I just thought this would be kind of fun to flip through. I love the cover of these, and these editions are just, they're so cute and small, and I think I'm going to just collect as many of these as I can get my hands on. Thrift Books had a whole bunch, so don't go all in there and steal them before I get to them. Just kidding. But yes, I think I'm going to grab some more of these because if you enjoy food writing, then this might be a little series you might want to check out. My next 3 books are all books that I have chosen because they were recommended to me by my lovely friend Kate Howe. And Kate is a connoisseur of Victorian novels. She knows whereof she speaks. She has read so many Victorian books, and I really rely on her to find new things and find books that I think I will actually enjoy reading. And so she recommended, first up, this is a middle grade book. Well, it's actually a middle grade series of books, and that is The Bastable Family by Edith Nesbit. And this has the story of the treasure seekers and the would-be goods and the new treasure seekers. So this book is a bind up of all 3 of the Bastable family stories. And Kate recommended this to me, and I immediately had to go out and get it because it sounds absolutely wonderful. And yes, so we follow the children of the Bastable family: Dora, Oswald, Dickie, Alice, Noel, and Horace Octavius. H.O. sounds like he's known by H.O. I think we're just going to follow along with their adventures, and I love a sort of nostalgic vintage middle grade book where kids have adventures, so this sounds absolutely perfect. Very excited to get to this and at least read. I would love to at least read the first book in the little trilogy that I have here. I think it's 3 books. Oh, and there's a 4th one, Oswald, Bastable, and Others. It's a collection of short stories. Oh, okay, I see. So 3 novels plus some short stories in this one. So, okay, well, lots to look forward to here. And then next is another Victorian novel that Kate recommended. Oh gosh, I picked this up. When did I pick this up? I guess I got it last year, but I think she must have recommended it in the prior Victober, or during one of her Victorian videos that she puts together, and that is Deerbrook by Harriet Martineau. And I found this printed edition. The type is so tiny. I'm not sure how I'm going to read this. I might have to see. I think this might be on Project Gutenberg or, one of those other free places where you can read these books. I might have to see if I can get the ebook because I'm not sure if this physical copy is going to work with my eyes. We shall see, but I can't even remember what this is about now. But I know I've been wanting to read it, and I didn't pick it up last year, and I would really like to get to it this year. Yes, Deerbrook by Harriet Martineau. And then lastly, and I am for sure going to read this in October because Kate so kindly gifted this copy to me This book is so beautiful, and you can only find it secondhand. It is not in print right now, but this is Maud, the Illustrated Diary of a Victorian Woman. This is adapted by Flora Fraser, and I believe Flora is Maud Berkely's, her granddaughter, her great-granddaughter. I can't remember now exactly. Oh, never mind. She is the granddaughter of the woman, Elizabeth Longford, who wrote the introduction. That's what this is. Okay, I've got it now. So Maud, this is a diary. So if you like epistolary novels, but it is illustrated, and it is so amazing. I mean, look at that. The illustrations, it's beautiful. Some are in black and white. Let me see if I can find, here's the color page. Look at this. Just look at that. I can't get over how gorgeous this book is. Kate, thank you. Thank you again so much for sending this to me. I am so excited to start this. And yes, this just looks like pure delight. So this follows Maud from 1888 to 1901, and it sounds like she was an acute observer of the world around her, both in her sketches and her prose. And she contrived to squeeze every ounce of pleasure out of life. We follow her adventures on walking expeditions, at picnics, dances, as she throws herself wholeheartedly into amateur dramatics, concerts, tennis matches, dressmaking, and painting classes. Yeah, I'm in. I am so in for this book. I cannot wait. So again, thank you to Kate for the recommendation and for the gift. So very excited. And also, just to let you all know, spoiler alert, I am actually going to be on Kate's channel in October with a special Victober video. So that will be coming out in the coming month, and I'll be sure to let you know when it is live, so you can go and check that out over on Kate's channel. And now we come down to what I need your votes on. And these are the 3 Victorian novels that I'm considering reading this Victober. First up is a Dickens novel. Now, I keep saying I want to read more Dickens, and I never seem to get around to it. But I have had this particular book sitting on my shelf for a very long time, probably over 10 years, and that is The Old Curiosity Shop. This is the story of Little Nell. It's described as a tragedy of sorrows, so, you know, maybe this one a little more tragic. I don't know, Dickens always has tragedy in his books, doesn't he? But yes, so this is option number 1 for you to vote on. And then the second book that I'm considering reading is North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. Love Elizabeth Gaskell, love Wives and Daughters, and I have seen the mini-series of North and South, but I have never read it, and it's been a long time since I first watched the mini-series. I think I probably first watched it when it first came out on PBS, and would very much love to read the novel. I've heard this is so fantastic, so this is your second option for me to read. And then finally, the third book I'm considering reading for Victober, the third novel, is Lady Audley's Secret by Mary Elizabeth Braddon. And I've never read Mary Elizabeth Braddon before. This will be my first. I've heard only amazing things about this book. And yes, so it says, when beautiful young Lucy Graham accepts the hand of Sir Michael Audley, her fortune and her future looks secure. But her past is shrouded in mystery, and to Sir Michael's nephew Robert, she is not all that she seems. So it looks like there's going to be a bit of sensationalism, and we're going to find out if his suspicions are true or not. But yes, so this is option 3. So again, there is a post on my community tab, a poll, also a post. On my community tab, you can vote for one of these, 3 books. So go over there and help me decide which of these I should read. I will have the poll open until October 1st, and then I will close it and I will read whichever book is the winner at that point. And that will wrap up my October pile of possibilities video. So I have some Victober books, I have some spooky atmospheric books, I have some seasonal reads, and I am really looking forward to my October month of reading. Can't wait. I'm going to be all cozy and curled up under a blanket with a mug of tea and all these good books, and it's going to be delightful. I would love to chat with you down in the comments below. Have you read any of these books? Are any of them ones that you highly recommend to me that you think I'm going to love? And what is on your October TBR / pile of possibilities? Are you participating in Victober? What are you planning to read if you are? Let us talk all things October reading down in the comments below. And if you're here, but you don't have anything that you'd like to add in the comments, but you want to let me know that you were here because comments do help my channel, why don't you leave something that feels like October to you, an emoji that feels like October, whether it's falling leaves, a pumpkin, pie, whatever it is, a spooky ghost, a cat, whatever it is that you think feels like October. Leave those emojis down in the comments. I always love seeing them. They really do brighten my day. And like I said, they do help my channel. And to also help my channel, please make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and also subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. I would love to have you join my bookish community. And then 2 quick reminders before we go. First of all, I still have the poll open for whether or not we are going to have a second year of Jane Austen January. So if you are at all interested in participating, please go and vote in that poll. I will have a link to that in the description box below, and you have until September 30th to vote. It's looking like Jane Austen January is going to be a go. Many of you want to have another year, so I think we're going to be going forward, but I would love to have the rest of you vote if you haven't voted yet. And also, if you want to leave a question for my birthday Ask Me Anything video, you still have an opportunity to do that. Probably a few more days, I will leave that post open for you to submit questions. So again, that will be linked in the description box as well. So go over there if you have a burning question you want to ask me about books, reading, my reading life, my personal life, send those questions in and I will add them to my Q&A video list. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for all the lovely comments you have left on my last few videos. It has been such a wonderful discussion that we've been having about this community. You also shared lovely comments about my reading memories, which that video felt a little vulnerable to me. And so I really, really do appreciate all the kindness and loveliness that you left in the comment section of that video. Thank you guys so, so much. And thank you just for taking time to be here and spend it with me in my cozy corner of BookTube. And as always, I'll be back with another video very soon. Bye. There's a lot of books to get through. Why do I keep doing this to myself?